Hey, lovers! Welcome to the Book Lovers Club, the podcast where we celebrate Black Sapphic love stories, one book at a time. I'm your host, Joy, a married lesbian, lifelong book lover, and relational communication scholar. Here, we don't just read the romance, we learn from it. I believe that love stories can do more than just entertain us. They can teach us how to love better, how to see ourselves more clearly, and how to create the love life of our dreams. Each week, I'll dive into sapphic stories written for us and by us, while weaving in personal insights and communication lessons you can take off the page. So grab your drink, get cozy, and let's turn the page together. Welcome to the club. Hey, book lovers! Welcome back to another episode of the Book Lovers Club. And y'all, today is a holiday because I am with one of my favorite authors. And y'all love her too because we've read two of her books together and they are like in our top 5. Author Chencia C. Higgins is here with me today. Welcome to the studio. So before we jump in, can you just tell the listeners a little bit more about you?
Well, I am a girly from Houston, Texas, born and raised in the South, because Texas is the South. Been writing for a long time, been publishing. It'll be 10 years. It'll be 10 years.
Wow.
This month. It'll be 10 years I've been publishing romance, contemporary, paranormal, erotic, romance. And, that's what I do. I write queer and heterosexual romance, and I'm having a good time doing it, and I just be here.
Well, congratulations on making it 10 years in the game. That's amazing.
Thank you. Thank
That's
you.
amazing. So, out of all of the genres that you write in, do you have one that's your favorite?
Contemporary is my favorite, actually. Contemporary
Mhm.
romance is so I love it because it's like I'm writing right now. This is what's going on right now. Pop culture references. I almost always have my stories based in Houston, so I'm, like, writing what I know, what I live, where I grew up, and it's fun. I love it.
Yeah, I really feel that about, tying your books to where you grew up and rooting it in where you were raised. I really wish I could find more books that are based out of Chicago because as a reader, I just love that experience and being able to figure out the different references, like, oh, I know where that is. So I feel that. All right, so two of your books we have read for our book club. And I asked some of my book club members, I told them, like, look, I'm going to be interviewing her, and what are some questions that y'all would like me to ask? And the number one question I got was, did Sin slash Papa piss you off as much as she did us while you were writing her? Because she was playing in Juicy's face.
She
Let's be for real.
was. Really, she really was. But, that's my baby though.
You gonna
You
stick
know
beside her, huh?
and Imma stick beside her. Listen, my girl she just
Girl, she
didn't
had
wanna
us wanting to
lose the
fight
best
her.
thing she ever had, you know what I'm saying?
That's real.
She didn't wanna lose the best thing she ever had by chasing after something she never experienced before.
That's real. But you gotta admit, like, it was never given just friends. I'm like, come on, Papa.
Well, it was given just friends, they just like, some friends they
That's
have
fair.
that love, it was platonic, and romance can exist in friendships too.
That's
People
true.
gotta understand.
That's
You
true.
can have romantic friendships. It doesn't have to be sexual. I mean, theirs did veer into sexual, but not at first.
Look, that
Not at
strip club
first.
scene, girl.
You know? You know?
Me and some of the book clubbers like, how was she on the chair? What was she doing with the brother? Like, what? Where was the leg?
Okay, listen, you got to start demonstrating. You be like, let me climb up in here and see how I can do that.
Yeah, top tier writing, top tier. That was a really
Thank you.
good book. Really
Thank you.
good book. But yeah, no, Papa had us ready to fight her. Like, you are playing in our girl's face.
She had a few
Look.
people ready to fight.
But you bring
I
up a
still
good
know the
point.
people today who will come up to me and be like, "I just want you to know, I will fight.
Because she was doing too much.
I mean, sure. Doesn't everybody? Everybody's doing too much in some capacity.
That's true. That's why I like a little mess in the books because real
You
life
know?
relationships usually have a little mess.
Yes, because people
Mhm.
are stupid. And so they're gonna be messy because they're not gonna make the most logical thing to do is never fun.
That's true.
So you're gonna be doing stuff.
That's true. Were you
Like,
surprised by the reception that you received from that book?
yes, in a way I was. Because it was so messy, I was not expecting people to love the mess. I was surprised by how many people were like, "This book is so messy, and I love that so much." I didn't realize that people had been hungry for some mess in some books because everything's so cute and it's all tied up neatly with a bow. And like, no shade to that because we need that too. But
Yes.
I didn't realize people also like were needing. They were like, "I need something that's just gonna make me tear my hair out." I didn't know they needed that.
Yeah, we talk about that a lot actually, how there's just a desire for darker Black Sapphic material. Like you mentioned, we love the cozy. I love a good
Right, for sure.
Hallmark-esque read, okay? But, having something that I think more closely aligns with the type of mess that we're used to seeing was just refreshing.
Okay.
And then seeing them work through that, even like you mentioned about how romance can exist in platonic friendships. I think having that representation is very helpful. So people could kind of envision what relationships could look like for themselves. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
right. I see it in real life,
Mhm.
okay? The Sapphics are deep down here.
Yeah,
I
you in
see the mess
Houston.
and I see the romantic friendships, and I also see the sex in the friendships, and so I see it all, so
That's real. So, how long have you been writing? I know you said you've been on this journey for 10 years, but have you been writing
yes.
longer than that?
Yeah, I've been writing since ooh, almost 30 years.
Wow,
Really
that's
aged
amazing
myself.
though.
I mean, for as long as I can remember, almost 30 years. Yeah, I can as early as I can remember is probably I was probably like 9, so probably before that, before I really knew how to string together some real sentences for real, but yeah, I've been writing almost my whole life.
Wow. How would you say
Yeah.
your writing has evolved over time?
My craft has grown, has improved over the last 10 years, but just my writing since I started writing, I mean, I was just writing little sentences about what I thought middle school was gonna be like, and very basic sentences, but like, "No, I was telling a story, okay, it was cute, okay, alright." I was talking about lockers and maybe having a boyfriend and getting a schedule. We didn't have schedules in elementary, I was using my
Yeah.
imagination. But then as I got older, just learning actually how to craft a story. And so, I mean, my writing has changed in that I've used that knowledge and then kind of did what I wanted to do because I really like I learned the crafts and then like I learned, that there's beats to romance because romance is like that's what I do. I learned that there's beats and there's a formula and all this stuff, and then I still just kind of do what I want. But to be able to do what you want, you have to know the rules before you can break them.
I'm glad that you break the rules because that creativity is what we need in writing. Devon and Chris is honestly one of my top 5 books, period, like, that
Wow.
I've read. And I remember when I first read that book, I came and found you on Instagram and wrote in one of your comments, like, "Thank
Did
you for
you?
writing this book."
Jeez.
Because that was before I even started all of this when I first read that book. I was
Wow.
blown. It was so good. And every time people ask me for a book to read, I always recommended the coming out journey that Devon went on is just very relatable to
Yep.
my own experience, but the fact that you wrote such a top tier book, Girlfriend, like Chris is topping a lot of our lists. A
You
lot of
know,
our lists.
that's what I've
Just
heard.
look, girl, you wrote the hell out of her. Phenomenal
Shit.
character.
You
You know,
know, I'm not.
look, I feel like I compare every FMC to Chris. Like,
Wow,
she's like top tier but girlfriend material. So,
man.
you are any of your characters based off of people you know in real life? Or
No, unfortunately, because they would be my girlfriend.
That's real. I
If
had to ask because the girlies out there wanna know, is Chris a real person? Like, where's she
it was
at?
real, they belong to me. So, well, then I'd still tell you no.
You got dibs, I
They be
understand.
mine. Sure, I would make that happen. There was like, when I tell you what's about to go down. You're mine now. Now that we got that figured out, okay. But, no, they're not. I just make everything up because I just think, so, like, I craft my films first when I do a stud film. Like, I have my films first, and then I know what their story is, what their journey's gonna be, and then I know what kind of person they need, and so then I make their perfect stud. I mean, Papa wasn't perfect, you know what I'm saying, but she was perfect for Juicy, in a
Yes.
way. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Even though Papa pissed us off, I did really enjoy her and Juicy's relationship. I did. I did. You know,
Me too. Good
sometimes you
for
gotta
it.
go through a little mess to appreciate the person.
Juicy had some stuff for her too.
True.
Not a whole lot, but she did have some stuff for her, but
Well, I still don't understand why she just didn't pick up the phone and call Papa in the first place. You driving all around town looking for this girl when the phone works. Why you just didn't call her? So she, not to put too much on my girl, but I feel like she also could have handled the situation differently and communicated better with Papa. So
no, she probably just wanted to drive all over Houston. The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, and I need to be out there looking for my girl because how dare she not be in the bed with me when I'm
that's real. I think the breakout star of that book was Nana Cherry, though. She was
Yes!
the
Oh my
breakout
god,
star. Nana Cherry was
I love her.
me too, me too. It really heals something in me reading such positive family dynamics in the books, especially, like, when it comes to the support how they support their queer children and grandchildren, so, I don't know,
Uh-huh.
it's just something healed me the
Yes.
way Nana Cherry just stepped up and had Papa's back, even looking out for Juicy like that, how her father never questioned it, even in Devon and Chris's family and how they didn't ask any questions like, "Of course you're gonna marry this girl that we've never met, and we're gonna embrace her because what else would we do?" That was really refreshing, honestly, like the family dynamics.
I love the Zavalas. They're my people. Yes, I love all these families. I love Nana Cherry, near and dear to my heart. I love her so much. And yes, the relationship that Papa had with her dad was so beautiful and so special. That was like when I first started to write or to like outline out draft Papa. The most important thing, like the number one thing was that she was a daddy's girl. That was like number one for me.
It like I said, it's just refreshing seeing those type of family dynamics on the page. I think that's
Yes.
why so many people relate to Devon and her coming out journey. That book is just so good, girl. I have all these questions that I have, but I keep thinking about the book, and I just wanna give you your flowers because just the
Thank you
creativity
so
of
much.
how we're watching a TV show unfold while reading the book too. What was the inspiration behind that?
Devon and Chris?
Yes.
Um, so my daughter was, like, on YouTube watching a bunch of prank videos, and they were doing all these ridiculous pranks, and she was just cracking up, and I was like, "Girl, this stuff is not even that funny." But she'll be like, "Mommy, come see this," and then want me to watch the video with her. She'll be like, "Look at this," and I mean, dying laughing, and I'm just like, "Where's the joke?" Okay? So we're
Look,
watching the
that's
videos.
kids.
I'm looking at this, and I'm like, "That's not even a good prank." Like, a good prank, and I don't know if it was something about a relationship. Somebody was trying to prank their girlfriend or boyfriend or something. I don't remember the exact prank that I saw. But in that moment, I was like, "Ooh, a good prank would be if they're trying to convince their family that they're marrying a stranger girl. That would be a good prank."
Wow, that's how that came to you?
Yeah, shout out to you too. And then I got my phone, started, like, recording to myself, talking
Wow.
it out.
Wow. That's impressive. I need one of them ideas to come to me, okay? Because that was the one. Okay, so you mentioned that you're a mother. Are you a writer full time too, or do you juggle all of this while working a full time job as well?
Well, I do work. Writing is not my full-time job. I tried it. I was writing full-time for a little bit, and that's just not my ministry. I cannot that can't be writing can't be my job because it's my passion, and when that's what I'm doing full-time, now it's work, and I don't wanna do that because
That's
I hate
real.
working. So, like, I'll say I'll say every now and then, like, if I'm just talking about it, I'll be like, "Writing is like my mistress." So I, like, leave my family, which is work, and go home to my mistress, and I treat her real good. So she gotta I can't make my mistress my wife because then Imma start hating her.
That's real.
So, yeah, that's such a terrible analogy, but, like,
But I get where you're
jerky.
coming from. But most things, once you like make it your thing to make money, it takes all the fun out of it. And I'm a serial hobbyer,
It
so
just
that's I'm something I've had to learn too. Like not everything is meant to be like your main source of income. It just kills the fun. So do you have any advice
Yeah,
for anyone like that's at the beginning stages of their writing journey?
keep going, read, continue to read. There are people who think I don't people who will start reading it, they'll start writing like romance and be like, "Oh, I don't read romance. I'm about to write something different." No. First of all, there is nothing new under the sun. Nothing you're trying to do is different. Sorry. Nothing you're trying to do is different. You need to read the genre that you're trying to write in. This is something that Nicole Falls says all the time. Keep your eyes on your own paper. She says that all the time. And that is so important because it's like yes, you need to read so that you know what the genre is like, what the rules for the genre are, right? You need to be reading. And also, you really need to be focused on what you're doing. Not worried about what somebody else is doing. You need to be focused on yourself. That means don't think somebody is stealing your idea because they're not, because it wasn't even original to you. That means that don't think that somebody's stealing your title because maybe it's not else everybody got that. Sorry. It just means if you have an idea, focus on that, write that, stick with it.
Run your own race. I feel like social media has really made it
Stay in your
hard.
lane. Don't cross over to the mother.
Exactly. But I think the comparison, like people always comparing themselves to other people and, you know, it's hard now. I feel like we're not meant to have this much access to people. Yeah.
We're not supposed to. We're not.
No, no.
When I was growing up, you never even knew if your favorite authors were alive and dead until a new book came out. And then you didn't even know if they was dead till you got to the end of the book and read their autobiography. You could write to their publisher and the letters might make it to them and they might not. But supposed to be seeing people like this.
That's real. Everyone just expects to have a lot of access to you all and know a lot about your personal lives and like parasocial relationships. It's a lot. How have you been navigating that?
I really have no idea what's going on. If people have formed some sort of parasocial relationship with me, I don't know anything about it. I don't post enough. I don't really have to navigate it too much because I don't be out there. So, I mean, and that's like on purpose. I'm not out there on purpose. I feel I'm too visible already. That's a Scorpio. That's, I feel like, whew, people see my face right now. Oh, it's crazy.
So
But
I
for the
feel
most
really
part
special.
and you should. No, I'm just
Thank you.
kidding. I'm
Y'all
kidding, I'm
heard it.
kidding.
I'm special, okay? She don't do this for everybody.
And you are, and that is true. I'm outside this year, and it's been a minute really since I'm chilling. I don't have to deal with it. Maybe I feel like also because I don't think I'm as popular, or as well known as some other authors, probably because I don't publish as frequently, and also because now I'm writing, sapphic romance. So that's not as big as the, girlies writing heterosexual. So
Yeah.
I don't really have to deal with it too much. because I'm kind of niche right now. Um, and I wasn't really huge like that before I started publishing. So like before I wrote my first sapphic romance, which was Things Hope For, it came out in 2020. I wasn't really big like that beforehand. It was me and my like 7 readers, and we was, like, locked in until, I started publishing Sapphic, and then it was like, God said no, and I was like, "Well, that's crazy." But other than that, I don't have to worry about that for real, like, I guess, like, shout out to not being as known. I be chilling.
But I think that's a success story because I feel like that is actually an obstacle for some people. They don't want to be out there as much and have to, really live their lives online to promote their books. So the fact that you've been able to
Yeah,
find readers and, find an audience without succumbing to the algorithm like that, I think more people need to see that that's possible and that might not deter them from writing. Because I talk to people all the time, like through this venture, and it's people who desire to write, but they have that fear of, being perceived or having to put themselves out there like that. And, you know, like I said, I think that's a success story. The fact that you were able to still find your audience without having to be online as much as some of the other authors. So thank you for sharing that. I know somebody out there needs to hear that.
and I will say, with that in mind, right? My audience honestly has found me. And
Mm.
so I would be doing myself and anybody else who was like listening a disservice if I did not point that out. So when I published my first sapphic romance, Things So Far, I published it indie. People were reading it, but black queer people were not finding it. And that was the reason that I decided to go ahead and become hybrid. And I went ahead and did Devon and Chris through my publisher, my former publisher, because my whole thing was I was like, I know there are people out there who want to read Black Sapphic romance and they can't find me. So one thing I knew was because I was with it was Karina Adores, which is under Harlequin, which is no. Okay, they're well known. They have a very large, strong readership. So I was like, okay, if I go with them, people who are looking for this are going to find me. Everybody doesn't read queer there, but they're going to find me. And did people found me? Devon and Chris. Devon and Chris grew the way it did, honestly, by sheer will of black queer readers. So I gotta give them a shout out. It's the readers who said, "We've been looking for this. Everybody needs to hear about this." Putting it in people's hands at the bookstore with their friends, or they're there and they see strangers looking for something. They're like, "You need to be reading this book." They are the ones who made that book a success the way it is. And shout out to them because they did that. And that means that so many other people writing Black sapphic romance could come after me. And I love that. But it's the
Yeah.
readers who did that.
I mean, we can all agree though, it is very difficult finding like within this niche, I just feel like it doesn't get the same visibility and just how people
Definitely.
market the books and share them online. It is harder to me to find the Black Sapphic reps.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, I really do rely
Absolutely.
on the influencers and the content creators and people like that to point us in the right direction. So I've been noticing that too. Hmm.
Neither of my traditionally published sapphic romances have been marketed in the way that they should have been. That's readers, that's on the ground people, that is influencers, book talk people, the
Yep.
booktubers, people like yourself, folks getting out there looking for stuff. That is why you can say, "Oh, we read your books and we love them because other people found it and they did the work." Because the publishers, they might publish the book, but they're still not putting anything behind it. They're not putting no money behind it. They're not putting it in places where it should be because it's black and because it's gay. So
Yeah.
it's the readers who are the ones who are really pushing it.
I'm just so over us not getting the recognition that we deserve, but we gonna hold each other down. That's the whole purpose of this is for us to be able to find these ways and opportunities to invest in authors who are writing the stories that we want
Yeah,
to read and to really find ways to create community in an industry that continues to push us to the margins. We create opportunities for ourselves. So that's the whole purpose of this, because everything you're saying is
absolutely.
speaking right to me because I've seen it That's part of the reason why I started this. It was so hard finding the book recs and knowing where to go. Even some of the, platforms that really
Yeah,
amplify queer books, they don't promote the Black queer books at the same rate that they do the others. So, we gotta do this for ourselves. So I feel you and hear
yeah.
you. Yes. Do you have any projects that are in the works that you wanna let readers and listeners know about?
I do have something coming out in August, which is a follow-up to a dark erotic thing. What am I calling that? I call it a dark erotic experience, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, I wrote a book in 2020 called An Illicit Seduction, and I have a
Ooh.
follow-up. The follow-up to that is finally coming out. I say finally because people have been on my head for 6 years. So it's finally coming out in August. I do have, a couple of sapphic projects that I am working on to hopefully come out next year where we're gonna see, God willing, and the creek don't rise. So I know that it almost looks like I have a book coming out next month. Kinda. If you tilt your head to the side and you squint your eyes, it does look like I have a book coming out titled The Ties Between Us. But in real life, I do not have a book coming out next month. It's the whole thing of I have parted ways with my publisher and the representation who inked that deal at the time, and so that book is not coming out right now. Not coming out next month. It's not coming to the publisher, but it will come out eventually one day, maybe indie, I don't know yet, but not next month. I'm so sorry to all of the people who were looking for that book, but one day you will get it, just not next month.
Well, whenever it comes out, we wanna read it for the book club, so you just let me know, and we got you.
Absolutely,
Cause,
absolutely.
cause if you write it, I will read it. I love your writing, so, you just let
So
me
much.
know, "Yes, if you write it, I will read it."
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am, I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
I'm just very grateful
For
that you
sure.
joined me today. I've enjoyed the conversation. Just to have the opportunity to give you your flowers for writing 2 of my favorite Black Sapphic books, seriously, and just creating stories that really help a lot of us feel seen, helped us navigate our own coming out journeys and process, trauma that we didn't even realize we were holding on to, and just very grateful that you picked up a pen. So, thank you
Thank
so much.
you
Thank you, thank
so
you.
much. Meant a lot to me. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to the Book Lovers Club. If you love today's episode, make sure you subscribe so you never miss a chapter. And if you're feeling generous, leave a review because those reviews help other lovers find us. So if you want to keep this conversation going, please join me on Instagram or hop on over to Fable to join the virtual book club. And until next time, remember, the stories we read can help us write the love lives of our dreams. See you next Sapphic Saturday.